Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera here, co-founder of MDC Trading Academy, with today's pre-market forecast for Friday, June the 25th. Let's quickly jump to our news items for this morning as we begin Friday, 8:30. Obviously, we have core PC price index coming out, plus the revised consumer consumer sentiment. Really important report here, sort of like to solidify the sentiment of investors in reference to what's happening in the economy, and it's awfully clear that it's being reflected in the stock market as we look at daily chart, as we are literally closing upon another all-time high in the S&P 500. We closed one yesterday. The continued positive and bullish feeling in the market continues. We're out of this range. Remember, this range has caused wreaked all kinds of havoc in the volume and in the movement of the market. Above that, again, our resistance remains, our true resistance continues to remain our all-time high. Our solid support is the 20 and the 50 SMA. That's where you're going to see any movement to the downside. Continue to have low volumes and low volatilities. Again, I spoke to you earlier this week, the last couple of weeks, about the summer roller coasters. This is what we're seeing right here. On the way down, of course, we increase volume and activity and ranges. As we go lower, as we go higher, less activity, less volume. We're averaging less than 1 million, so it's kind of tough out there. Like I said, one of the things that we have advised our clients to do is to look for a lower time frame, in order to trade where the market can look more granular and you can see the swings and or runs a little bit more clearer. So our traders are indeed using those time frames to make things a lot easier for them. Let's look at our next chart here, so we can look behind these numbers. This is another longer term chart where we can see the movement. And as you can see, we're above the all-time high of previous all-time high, establishing new all-time highs. As you can continue to see, we broke on this last huge retracement. We literally broke in every single resistance headwind that we had previously set up, and we're looking to establish new highs. So that's where we are right now. Market is pretty much moving sideways and up at the same time. If you want to look at it in a more technical way, you can see the market is moving very, 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 very slowly, but very determinedly to the upside. Just like, let me just fix this here so you can see it clearly. There we go. This is pretty much what the market is doing. It's moving slightly sideways, but up. In other words, it looks like a consolidation, but it's actually a run up. Unlike this one, which is pretty much lateral, what you're seeing is basically the market bouncing off these two trend lines here, moving higher. That's why these markets, and I always keep telling you, regardless of volume and range, when a market wants to go up, the market is going to go up. When a market wants to go down, the market is going to go down, regardless of the volume, regardless of how slow the market may be moving. So you have to keep that in mind. As you trade these markets, you have to be extra patient. Why? Because it's going to take time for the market to develop trades. And not only is it going to take time to develop trades, it's also going to take time for those trades to finally come to fruition. So double dose of patience here. So here's where we find ourselves currently in more immediate future. This is our intraday high from yesterday, our intraday low from yesterday. We do have a trend line here to the upside, and we were at some point before I drew this line in a very clear and persistent compression. But nonetheless, here's our break to the upside. There's a new all-time high being established. So what are we expecting the market to do? Well, we're expecting the market to come and retest this lower area here once again, which was the intraday high of yesterday as resistance, being retested as support. Let's see what happens in this particular scenario here. If the market holds, we're expecting the market to try to attempt to move higher. Can the market break below here? Absolutely can break below here, potentially get behind this trend line once again, and potentially come and retest this particular trend line here to this support trend line here. And of course, any break below here, we're looking at testing this particular range here. So that's what we're looking at right now. First scenario, are we going to retrace and retest? Eventually we will. We can also just clearly blast through this first and then try to come and retest. But either which way you're going, I think that before we move any higher, I think we're going to come retesting some of these lower support areas before determining which direction is going to go. Those are the plays for today. Remember, very low volume, very slow movement. You have to be determined to have the patience, the determination to wait on the setups, wait for the confirmation, place your stops correctly, and then you have to have patience and waiting for the trade to develop. Take care. Have a great weekend. See you next time.